All right, good morning, everyone. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've decided to take one more time of going through this final project. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is not an easy project. I'm going to show you where I am right now, and maybe, I guess, give you a few hints as we're going along. Now, there's some stuff in here I have not implemented yet. I have not implemented paging. I have not added the reviews, but I want to show you what I have been working on. All right. So it says the data must be stored in a list of books. Okay, one author with less than 5 books, one author with 5 to 10 books, one author with greater than 10 books. What I used in mine, and unless you can show me that you've already done this, I would be amazed if you picked the same 3 authors that I did. But my author with less than 5 books, I picked Mark Twain. My author between 5 and 10 books, I picked J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter author. And the author with greater than 10 books, I picked Dr. Seuss. I did use real book information, as it says, that can be found online. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. I did fill the author drop-down list by using a link query with a where function. All right. I didn't use unique, I used distinct, but it's pretty much the same thing. All right. On the search form, you can perform your link search by using either the book name or the book ISBN. And you're going to see all of them in just a minute. Okay, in fact, I'll show you the way that I did it in just a bit. Once the search form is clicked, the correct data should be returned and displayed in search controls. Now, I displayed everything, including the ID, but I made what I am showing in here. I've made it, I turned off the adding, the editing, and the deleting in here. All right, as I mentioned, if greater than 5 results are returned, I did not yet implement paging. All right, with link and skip. Now, if you do look at the URL that I gave you here, here we go. This is a thing from .NET Tutorials. You can find it all over the place. All right, so for instance, if I just come in here and type in to Google, how to implement C# data grid view paging using skip and using link, skip, and take methods, just as an example. So again, if you can't read that, what I just typed in there was this. So how to, that should be paging, but that's okay. How to implement C# data grid view paging using link, skip, and take methods. All right. And the reason I'm bringing that up is if you don't like the URL that I gave you, you can come in here. All right, here's one that you can use, for example, from Stack Overflow. Here's the one I gave you. Here's another one from Stack Overflow. So, you know, when you look at 142,000 results, there's going to be some in there that are pretty much going to run through just about everything you need. Here's, I think, a good one in C# Corner, because they explain everything that's going on in here. And they show you an actual example. Now, this is where they're filling this up. All right. But then they come in here and they show you, enter a page number, 1, 2, or 3. All right. So I think you could probably use that one. Again, if you don't like the one that I gave you. And there are just so many of these. All right. And that is right here. So put that up there. In fact, what I should do is just take all of these URLs that I have here and just start creating a list and send them to you. All right, so you can Google this. All right, and here is an example. So this is one example. Okay. All right, I don't want to waste too much time on that, but let's keep going. So far, other than this, so I'd be losing the 10 points. All right, when the details button is clicked for a book on the search form, a book details form is displayed. Got that? The associated thing should show the book name, year, got that? ISBN, got that? Author, have that. Image, I have that. And the past reviews, I don't have any reviews in yet. So again, I'm going to lose that right there. So I'd lose those 10 points, and I'd lose those 10 points. All right, I want to put these in. I just haven't had the time yet to do that. All right, I gave you the book class. I gave you the review class. I'm going to show you in just a minute how I implemented the context file. Okay? All right, and that's pretty much it. So I would have most of the points in here. So this is what they're showing right now. So if you look in here, this is not a great example. And again, I said already, I will not have paging in mind. But what I did, well, let me run it for you and show it to you. Okay, so let me show you this is mine. I did put a splash screen in here. So this is my splash screen. 3 well-known authors and some of their best-known books. So I found a picture of Mark Twain online, a picture of J.K. Rowling online, and a picture of Dr. Seuss. From there, I've got 3 different forms. You can exit, which I don't want to do. You can go to help, and what I basically did was I repeated all the stuff that was in what I just showed you. I pulled the points out, but I basically pulled everything in there. All right. So if I go to my main page, it'll take a second, but it'll come up. There, it looks like this. So when you look at my main page and you look at the main page that was in the program, you got this. So let me do this. All right, I'm going to do this twice. Believe it or not, there's a reason for that, but give me a second. All right, so I'm going to go back here to the first one, and I'm going to cut out just this part right here. All right, so there's mine. So I'm going to cut this way the hay down, about like that, and about like, let's make it like that. Again, I do not have paging in yet. But when you look at mine, what do you see? Well, I just said search rather than search by name or ISBN. Author, it is a drop down. There's a search button. There is my data grid view, and it will have the details button for each one of these in just a second. I added, again, a splash screen, a help, and an exit. So you can see that, now when you look in here, I'm gonna grab, for example, let's do it first this way. So let's pick Mark Twain. I've got 3 or 4 books from Mark Twain. So when I click on Mark Twain and I click search, notice I get 4 books by Mark Twain. Okay, again, I did include the book ID, okay? I guess I could have suppressed that, but I didn't. For each one, here are the ISBNs, here's the author name, there's the book name. I can, stretch that out. Whoops, I don't want to do that yet, so hold on. Oh, Jeffrey. There we go. All right, so let me stop the run and start it again. All So when I go to my main page, you already saw this. Okay. Now I've got it set up that you can put in any ISBN in here, or you can have an author list. I did not implement it so you could put an author name in there. All right. Because I figured you were handling it here. All right. But again, let's try Rowling and search. And I've got 8 books. Now, again, I suppressed in here the ability to add, to edit, or to delete. In addition, and I had to go and Google this on how to go in and add, another field into this. And this field that I added was a button and details. Let's pick one of these. So let's see. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is when I'm trying to make those bigger and run it one more time. So main page. What is the one we didn't use yet? Dr. Seuss. All right, I'm just going to grab one of these books that are in here. Let's see. Go Dog Go, right there. So when I click on details, watch what happens. Okay. I bring up a picture of the book, Go Dog Go. I've got the title. I've got in parentheses the year that it came out. I have, this is just a static text, ISBN with the actual ISBN by Dr. Seuss. I don't have the reviews implemented yet. Now, there is a slight problem with mine, and I want to show you what it is. I've been trying, this is why I haven't gotten the other stuff done, because I've been trying to figure this out, and I don't know what the problem is. But if I go back to my main page, and I choose, let's go in here and do this. I've got a few, there's Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer, so I'm just going to go in and grab that. Okay, so there's that. Boom. And I search. And there it is. Tom Sawyer. But when I click, notice what comes up. Go Dog Go. Because I believe it's caching what I had in there before. Now, when I do click on this, it changes to what it should. But I don't want it to be like that. In other words, I want it to come up like this right away. So there's my Adventures of Tom Sawyer, the ISBN, etc. All right. I did go out to Amazon and actually grabbed images, etc. You know, when the book came out, etc. Now, I know that many of these were much earlier than 2018, but this is just the one that I used. All right. So what I've shown you is my splash screen, how I can get to the main page, what I can put into the main page, how I can get to the help screen. All right, so one more time, if I go back to here and I go to authors and I go to J.K. Rowling and search and just grab one of these books. All right, oh, that was interesting. Oh, that was, I got an error in my code. And I'll show you what that error is in just a minute. But that's interesting. All right, let me run it again. Try running it again with J.K. Rowling, and I'll grab a different book. Let's try this one, whatever this is. There you go. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I just wanted you to see that it is working. All right. Now, again, the problem is if I go back to the main page and I look again and I choose Dr. Seuss and I search and I grab the Lorax, it comes up with Harry Potter until I click right here. Then it changes. Now, is that big a thing? Well, it's not professional that you have to do that. So I have to fix that. That's what I've been working on. I've tried. And I have to come in and implement the review stuff in here. And then going back to my main page, I have to add in here. I actually do have buttons for paging. Right now, they're all disabled. All right, but I haven't worked on that yet. So I'm going to show you a couple of the things that are in here, such as this is my books class, which is going to have to, I'm going to have to add in there. All right. But, and that's the book context. So here's my book class. It's the same thing I showed you in class. There's no differences. Again, I'm going to have to come in here into the book class, and as was shown, I'm going to have to add a list of reviews if I want to be complete in here and put all that in there. All right, I don't have that in there right now. Okay, in my review class, I've got this. This again is exactly what I showed you in class. There is nothing that's been added to my knowledge, nothing that's been changed to my knowledge in either book or in review. All right, I'm going to quickly show you my book context class. All right, so I did put in two constructors, one which is a no-arg constructor and one which will handle the options. This was shown in our textbook. It worked fine even if I didn't have these constructors in. All right, there's my 2 DB sets for the books. So this is going to hold all, this is the table that holds all my books. This is the table that holds all my reviews. And again, currently the reviews table is empty. On the on configure right here, let me make this smaller so you can see all of it. There it is. My data source, my initial catalog, I called it JPS Books Final, my initials, Books Final. You can call it whatever you need to call it. That's no biggie. All right, and the integrated security equal true. In the on model creating here, what I have is I have a total of 4, 12, 27 books. Each book has its own ID. This is my seed data. So each book has its own ID, has its own ISBN, has its own author name, has its own book name, has its own publish year, and has its own image. For the images, what I ended up doing was I created an images folder. Then inside of there, I created 2 subfolders. So there's my Dr. Seuss. That's the one that you saw. There's my J.K. Rowling, the one you saw. And there's my Mark Twain. Those are the 3 that you saw. So in other words, what I have in here, those are the pictures of my authors. Then in here, I've got the picture of my books. And I broke that down as well. So here's my, let's do them in order. So here's my 4 Mark Twain books. So you can see there's the Jumping Frog. There's the Tom Sawyer. There's the Mark Twain, Prince and the Pauper. And there's the Huck Finn. They are different sizes. But what I said, you know, when I use that inside of the actual program, all right. So let's see. Let me get rid of these. All right, so inside of the program itself, all right, in here, oh, wrong one, I need details. So in here, that's my picture box, and I told it what I wanted it to do was to stretch the image for the size mode. That's why it took up all the space that was in here. Some of them look good. Some of them don't. And if you don't know what I mean, if you look right here, because I've been playing with it for quite a bit, as you'd guess, if I come in here and choose Dr. Seuss and choose green eggs and ham, it works, but it looks a little stretched and a little out of shape. It's not terrible, but you can see it. On the other hand, if I run it again, so let's run it one more time. And again, we'll choose main page Dr. Seuss in here. And search, I think, what was it called? Something with zoo. If I ran the zoo. You can see how nice that one looks. All right. I guess I could play with it a little more, or I could go back and try to get images that were all the same size, or resave them so they were the same size. I just didn't take the time and trouble to do that. All right. So again, on my context, there they are. And I'm not going to run through the rest of them with you. I mean, again, I'm not going to show you those. It would be a waste of time. But those are my 4 Mark Twain books. Here are my 8 J.K. Rowling books. And here are my 15 Dr. Seuss books. All right. In addition, what I had in here was I had a details, and that set that up. All right. Now you'll notice I tried to make this where I could move back and forth. So every page, so if I'm on the first page, if I'm on the splash screen, I give you a way to get to the other 3 pages. Main page, help, and exit. If I'm on the main page, I give you a way to get back to the splash screen, go to help, or go to exit. All right. If I'm on the details page, I let you go to the splash screen, the main page, the help page, or the exit. All right. And what am I missing here? Probably from the help page, I let you go to the splash screen, the main page, and exit, and they all go back and forth between one another. You don't have to implement it the way I did. All right. I will expect that yours is going to be different. All right. So what am I not showing you in here? All right. Well, one thing is, for example, when I went into here, okay, how did I get that to show? I mean, how did I get, it wasn't hard to get the data grid view to show, but how did I add that details button? Well, one of the things, I mean, I was Googling right and left here. All right. One of the things that I Googled in here was how to add a button to the end of a C# data grid view. All right. And I don't know if this is the one I used, but let's look. I kind of grabbed a hybrid where, yeah, I did use this one. So I'm going to add that to my list of URLs here. So adding a button to the end of a C# data grid view. All right. So there's one example. All right. There was another one too, because there were a couple in here that were good. Of course, I won't be able to find it now. But like I said, I spent a lot of time in here. All right. Googling different things to see what went with what, etc. All right. And I know there was another one. I just can't see it right now, but that's okay. All right. And some of these, you know, as you probably guess, are better than others are. All right. So let's see. The data grid view is a provided column type that contains a clickable button. You can add your own controls and you go out to here. So how to add things to a data grid view cell. Put that one out there as well. All right, so that's one of the things. All right. What I did as far as the, when you look at this, and bring it up again, how about this? How did I fill this up? Well, originally I cheated, not going to lie to you. I just went in there into the items thing that's in here for this, went into the items and just added them. But that's not what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to add these and use link in order to be able to add these. All right. So one of the things that I did was I went back. It'll take me a second to find this. Sorry about that. But let's see, because I got a mess here, as you can see. But I went back and found here in my HenryDB method queries. And if I look in here, I grab this one. books.select, but what we didn't want in here was book type. We wanted author name .distinct. That gave me the 3 authors. And after I got that, I told it to fill up the combo box with those. Okay. The other thing too, and I don't know if this goes without saying or not, but if you go back to here, if I run this again, I try to put some smarts into this. And what I mean is this. All right. What if I put nothing in here? So nothing here and nothing here. And I click search. Well, it comes up and it says you must enter a search term. No search term entered, program ending. Okay. What if I come in here and put in garbage? And it says non-existent ISBN. No book matching inputted ISBN. All right. And in here, since this was set up like this, if you're going to choose these, it can only be one or the other. In other words, you can only choose Dr. Seuss or J.K. Rowling or Mark Twain. The way that I have set it up is if I put in both this, J.K. Rowling, and I come in here and put in this, like that, it only grabs, it looks for search first, right there. So notice when I click search, it only brings the one up. Okay. And again, so right now that won't be J.K. Rowling. That's Mark Twain. Okay. Now, again, what am I going to have to do in order for me to complete this? And if I do get it done, I'll make another one of these videos. All right. But I've already shown you this, but to show you again, I'm going to have to go in to my book class and I'm going to have to update it. All right. I'm going to have to add a list of reviews. Okay, then I'm going to have to add some reviews. Now, believe it or not, I don't think that that's going to be that big a thing compared to some of the other stuff that we had to do in here. That's my opinion. You may or may not agree with it. But I think doing some of this other stuff was a heck of a lot harder. All right, so right now, if I'm grading mine, again, one author, yep, I got that. So I got 9, I got 18, I got 27 points, 36 points, 46 points, 56 points, 66, 76. There's 100 out of 100 right there. I'm missing those 10. Okay, so right now I'm at 100. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. I don't have that, so still 160. I did implement that. 170, I did implement that. 180. I do have that. 190. I do have that. 200. Now, imagining I could create my own one of these, which is kind of what I'm doing with you right now, that'd be 230. So I'd have a 92 right now. All right, please don't get hung up. Do what you can do in this. I'm giving you the same assignment that, to my knowledge, is being given in the St. Louis class. If there's something that is in here, I'm not going to give you code, but I tried to come in here and show you. I did want to mention one thing. Let me say this before I finish up. That if I go back to my program, stop the run, you notice that one Harry Potter was screwed up. So let's go back and look at all of these images, authors, Dr. Seuss JPEG, J.K. Rowling JPEG. Okay, those all look like they're okay. However, when I go back into my book context, all right, there's the name of the book. Okay, there's the name of the book. Okay, let's see. I want to look at one thing in here. Books, Dr. Seuss books. Looks good. Harry Potter books. Looks good. And Mark Twain books. Those look good. All right, if I go back in here, because there was an error in mine. Okay, there was an error in mine. So I have to, in these J.K. Rowling's, somewhere in here, near the book name. I don't know where it is. Let's see. There. See this? The Deathly Hallows. Somehow I left the G out of there. I don't know how, but I did. And I'm going to go back quickly and look in here. So let's see, because there's 27 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no underscore there. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There's my library. Now, the reason I'm showing you that is I went back and fixed that one, but just fixing it didn't fix the database. It fixed it in the file here. So what I have to do is I have to go back here every time I make a change to something that's going to change the database and go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console, and I'm going to have to add a migration, and I'm going to say fix single Harry Potter book URL. All right, so I'm adding that migration. Okay, it says it succeeded. All right, and then I've got to update the database. Okay, and it says that all of that was done. So then after you do that, of course, you want to go back into SQL Server, Object Explorer, like I am right here. Refresh, go back, go to Databases, go back to my JPS Final, go to Tables, all right, go to Books, and if I go back to Books here and I look at my data, there it is. And if I go back all the way and try to bring in all of these, yeah, I'm going to have to make this real, I don't know, I can't make it smaller, but let's see if I stretch it some more. All right. I'm looking in here. They're all .jpgs, and it was in J.K. Rowling. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've all been fixed. All right. Now my hope is that this gave you some help. All right. And kind of told you what to concentrate on. Again, it is up to me to go back and add the things I told you I'm missing. Those being the paging and adding the ability to go in and add new reviews. Now you'll notice if I left that out, I can still get 230 out of 250 points. All right. Would I take off for anything else? It would depend on a lot of things. But I've got those, and I'm going to try to implement that as soon, as quickly, as well as I possibly can. And if I can get that stuff done, I'll give you one more video like this. The last thing I want to say is I am only accepting work. So if you want to go back and redo work that you screwed up on or that you never did, and one or two of you never took one or two of the hands-on tests, you can even do that one if you want to and get 50 points, which is much better than 0 points. All right, but by what I'm going to do starting Tuesday of next week, next Tuesday. So starting at, what is that, the 29th, 30th. I'm going to be grading all day. I don't want to see any other work after Tuesday. All right? So, I mean, that's what I had told you. So let's go back. So, electronic portfolios are due by Tuesday at midnight. All right? Late work, I guess you got till Tuesday as well. So that'll be Wednesday. I'll start grading that. All right? Which is the 1st. And this is due then. I'm going to try to get as much. I mean, I'm planning on doing nothing next Wednesday. Nothing but grading. Thursday, I'm planning on doing nothing but grading. All right? And my hope is, if everybody has their work in by then, as they're supposed to, that I can have all my grades done. So Friday, all I'm going to have to do when grades are due, I'll have grades turned in on Thursday. And on Friday, I'll just have to fill out all of the forms that I have to do. All right? Again, if you have questions, please get a hold of me. Let me know what they are. I'm not giving you code, but I am willing to give you some hints. All right? Google is your friend, as I've already said. So go back and use it, abuse it, etc. That's about all I have to say. All right? I'll talk to you possibly again. Otherwise, we'll see. Have a good day.